Good morning. Happy Monday to you, by the way. Welcome to a brand new week and new opportunities and new things going on. And coming off of a Sunday, sometimes you feel a little bit more spiritually minded. At least I do. And I was thinking a little while ago about a story in the book of Acts when the apostles, by the way, this Dave paraphrase, don't judge me on the lack of translation. But the story, the gist of it was the apostles were getting bogged down in the administrative duties of the early church. And that is when they decided they needed deacons and elders and people to handle the duties so that they could give themselves to the studying of the word and spending time in prayer, because they knew that that was the highest and most valuable use of their time. Which then got me to thinking about in the economic development circles, there's the phrase the highest and best use of property. And I'm like, okay, so highest and best use with regard to time. How can you and I maximize that? How can you and I maximize our time? Because you see, time is the great equalizer. There's 24 hours, whether you make $1 million a year or you make 10 grand a year or you make no money a year. We all have the same amount of time each and every day to make use of. It's just how we decide to use that time which can make all the difference. So I've got a few things I want to share with you this morning about the highest and best use of your time. And some of it may be new to you, some of it may be old hat to you, but I believe all of it will be useful to you. One of the things I love are routines. I'm a routine-driven individual. I have certain things that I do. I have even told you about that on some of my lives. Wow, I started right into it. Don't forget, keep this in mind, brought to you by SpectHealth.com. Each morning, I have certain routines that I do. I shower at roughly the same time. I brush my teeth at the same time. All the things, right? Before I get out of bed, I spend some time laying in bed, being grateful for the day that I've been given. And what I've learned is the more that I do the routine, and the more the second nature the routine becomes, I always get better at it. And it compresses the amount of time required to do those duties. And so that's one area. Number two, avoid getting bogged down in busy work to avoid what you're supposed to be doing. Did you know that salespeople avoid getting into sales a lot? While it's their talent, while it's their ability, while it's the thing they're really, really good at, they will find ways to avoid doing sales. And so avoiding doing sales, they will find busy work, paperwork, other work that's not sales related, but they can say, well, I have to get this done today, right? And they avoid going out or avoid making a call. Can I tell you, begin to prioritize better. Which brings me to my next point, and that is time blocking. My friend Molly Corbett taught me this. She made a statement to me when we were trying to do some things together. She said, look, David, you've got to schedule it on my calendar. It's not that I don't love you, but if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. And I've used that phrase, I can't tell you how many times in my lifetime. Put it on the calendar. And if there are things that you know that you need to get done each and every day, each and every week, block it, make it a repeating item on that calendar, so that it is always there. It's reminding you, it's in front of your face. Outsourcing, the things that maybe you can do, but you really shouldn't do. As y'all know, I'm releasing this book in the next couple of weeks, and I got all the print work done. And as a self-published book, there's a lot of work that falls on my shoulders. Well, I thought as I was doing the book itself that the translation from paperback to Kindle would be just click a button. Well, guess what? It wasn't. All of the formatting that I did to make it pretty, to make it interesting, to make it not so gray matter, disappeared. It was just jacked up. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do here? So I started doing research. And what I found was I could go back in and do all this work, or I could go to an outsourcing service like Fiverr, pay somebody who's really good at this, take that item off of my plate, and move on to something else. And can I tell you, it was the most liberating, lifted a weight off of my shoulders when I came into contact with somebody who was really good at doing this. And they turned that bad boy around in about 48 hours. 48 hours that I didn't have to worry about it. And a lifetime of not having to worry about it as we went forward. So the book is coming out, the Kindle's coming out, everything's just about ready to go. And all because I got out of my own way. Just because I could go back in and reformat everything doesn't mean I should. And it took stress away, it took distraction away, and it allowed me to move on to other projects that required more immediate attention and full bandwidth from this thing to accomplish. So I just want to encourage you today, think about the highest and best use of your time. If you're in sales, selling, prospecting. If you are in management, creating processes that make your business more efficient. If you are in a health journey, if you're one of my clients, can I tell you that keeping yourself busy in good ways will then help you in your health journey? Begin to block those times off in your calendar. The things that you want to accomplish, the times you've got to eat, the times you want to go for a walk, make them in this thing to where this thing says, hey, it's time. Move on. Because I believe that if you begin to do these things, you will find that you have more time for things you enjoy, more times for the things you're working on to go towards your dreams. All of a sudden, your life begins to get some clarity that the fog of distraction is beginning to lift, and you can concentrate on the things that you were put on this world to do. Don't get distracted. Stay consistent and do the things. I think somebody said there's 3 things you should do with things that you shouldn't be doing. Okay? Number 1, delegate. Get it to somebody else like I did to Fiverr. Number 2, automate. Is there some way that you can automate this process? Or number 3, eliminate. Get it out of your life. Get the distraction gone to where you can concentrate on what you should be doing. You were put on this earth for a purpose. You were put on this earth on purpose. And there's nothing worse than distractions keeping you away from that purpose. So let me encourage you one last time before we wrap up. Do the things that are the highest, best use of your time, and take care of the other things with those systems, people, and eliminations that will keep you away from what you're supposed to be doing. Now, before we go, one last plug, not for my book for once. Tune in tomorrow morning. I will have the original Vacation CEO, Amazon bestseller, Omar Medrano, right here on the show. We're going to talk about mindset issues, talking about catastrophizing versus fantasizing versus having good forward thoughts. Because you know what? What if it did work? God bless.